Hey guys, welcome back. It's Mark with exoticcarplayplace. Today we are going to go and do some shopping for the most unreliable 3 Series BMW because I am looking at a new daily driver. And we'll go take a look down at some of the dealers and see if we can find one of the cars that's right for me. Let's go. Now I am down at the dealer and I've actually found two of the favorite cars, two cars that I'm considering buying as the most unreliable 3 Series BMWs available today. Now you're probably going to ask yourself, why would you want to buy the most unreliable 3 Series BMW? Well, it's mainly because that particular BMW happens to be the most tunable car. And there's no surprise that, based on my channel, I like exotic cars, supercars, fast cars in general. Why wouldn't I want to go fast? So I want a car that's tunable, but I don't want to start with a $150,000 car. I'm going to start with something that most people can afford, and I'm going to guide you through this. If I decide to buy a car like this, then I'm going to share with you the experience. So let's look at this. I've basically got two choices here. Now, what I'm talking about is the 335 BMW. Now, why is the 335 my best choice? Well, mainly because the 335 has turbochargers, and typically anything with turbochargers is very, very tunable, and you can usually extract a lot of horsepower out of a turbocharged car. So that's why I've narrowed my search down to the 335. Now there's a few selections in the 335s. Some of them you can get up to 2010. They come with the infamous N54 motor that is notoriously unreliable with the twin turbos. And then if you look at a 2011 and newer, then you're basically dealing with cars that have been slightly improved, although they're not perfect either, because again, anything turbocharged typically has additional heat and stress, and therefore reliability goes down the hole. So we're going to start with this one. Here is a 335. Now I found one, so there's two other choices. So aside from going with, the N54 or the N55 engine, which is 2011 or newer, there's other choices. Like we have here the Sedan. So this is the 4-door sedan, obviously. This is pretty generic looking, pretty standard. They own the marketplace for sports sedans, in my opinion. And so here is a 335. Let's take a look around. This is a sedan. This one has the X-Drive. So there's some options. You can go with the all-wheel drive, which I'm probably going to go with because I live in northern climates. Of course, lots of snow where I live. This one unfortunately has some kind of the small wheels, so you probably want to have that upgraded. But you'll notice the 335 has the dual exhaust in the back. But looking at the taillights, that's one distinct difference. So just the way it happens, we actually have a coupe here as well to compare this with. So I'm considering the sedan or the coupe. I'm not sure. Like there's angles of both that I really like. And you'll notice, of course, the headlights are mainly the same. Let's take a look at some of the exterior features. Obviously it's X-Drive. We've got this style of mirror here. What else do we have in the sedan? Well, this particular sedan here has the wood grain interior. It's very nicely equipped here as well. Standard seats. Power seats, of course. Lots of nice finishing in these cars. Now we go to the back. Now the beauty part with the sedan is it actually gives you, you'll notice, 1, 2, 3 seats, and you get all the foot space in here. So if you have three, two adults and maybe a child, or 3 smaller adults, you can fit 3 people in here. So this is actually a 5-seater. And then we move over here. So we're going to look at a coupe. Now, arguably, most people would agree that coupes are a more beautiful look. Overall, the style is much more attractive. This one here is the M package. This car is particularly attractive. You've got the M spoiler on the front. It definitely looks a lot more aggressive. Now the wheels are prettier here as well. You've got the upscale wheels on here. You'll notice the mirrors. It's a different style of mirror as well on the coupe. The overall look is different for sure. You've got the stretched body lines on the coupe. You've got this nice crease that runs along, so this is a different piece. And of course, since we talked about the taillights, this of course is a 335, but the taillights are sleeker. You'll notice they're kind of a skinnier type of taillight on here as well. Here you've got the dual exhaust on this guy as well. So it's a very, very pretty car. Now this one here happens to have some junk in the trunk. This guy here's got some spare tires, looks like some winter rubber in the back of the seat here, so I can't show you that in this case. The downside with this coupe here that we're looking at is, yes, it's prettier, yes, it's overall a much more attractive car, and this one's actually got better upscale, you know, finishing versus the other sedan. That being said, you can do that as well with the sedans. You can find a better equipped sedan, but this one actually only has 2 seats in the back, and I can't show you that because of the tires in the back, but the coupes only have 2 seats. As well, this car only has 2-wheel drive, rear-wheel drive only. I've only got essentially the rear wheels drive in this car. So less practical for winter time, less practical as well with the back seats, because if you have kids like I do, then this is going to be a little bit more of a compromise, of course. This is really more of a sports car than the sedan. And so we look around. You notice the traditional grille, pretty standard fare there. But overall, underneath is what really matters, and that's why I'm looking at buying the 335, even though it's the most unreliable 3 Series. It's because the tunability of the engine that's under that hood. So let's maybe take a look and see, have a quick look. So let's pop the hood of this sedan here. We're gonna do the old pull that. And there is the infamous N54 engine that we have under the hood of this sedan. Now, while it looks pretty stealthy, this car is extremely powerful and extremely tunable. Now they come standard with a 300 horsepower and 300 pound-feet of torque. I like this. Very easy to access. That's BMW's always got that sort of stuff figured out. Now on down in there, there's some, you know, changing the serpentine belt can be a challenge, and some of the other things in here can be a challenge. We all know that these cars are notorious. Their high pressure fuel pumps are known to go. Injectors are known to go. This is of course a straight 6, so there's 6 injectors. They are known to fail as well. You've got leaks from the valve cover gaskets, and look, isn't this funny? Everything looks very kind of moist in here, and so this is pretty typical to find wet top end on these cars. Not uncommon at all. Of course, turbos can go. These cars also have the occasional wastegate rattle. Coolant issues, you've got leaks. Now the rad and everything is tucked in behind here, and there's your fan. Of course, your rad is, you know, tucked down in there neatly, but of course that can be an issue, as well as the water pump. The water pumps are also notorious for these things, and that's going to be something you can almost guarantee you'll be changing at some point. So that is the N54 engine. Now the plus side, now why would you buy an N54 like this over the N55, which is the 2011 and newer? Why would you? Because these ones so far have more tunability, and they definitely have more of an aftermarket support. The N55s are getting there, but they're not quite there yet. So these are actually made to modify. They're a better car for tuning if you want to make the car go fast. This is the engine that you want to have, the N54. This coupe, this also has the N54, again more tunable than you get in the N55, like the 2011 and newer. But again, these cars are made to go fast, and they are fun. Now the downside to both of these particular cars is they're both automatics. See, the downside here is this car is actually an automatic. I really want the manual gearbox. But this car is super clean otherwise, holding up very well. I'm not sure what the mileage is on this car, but again, the fact that this is an auto, I'm probably not even going to bother the salespeople about this, because it's not really what I'm looking for. As well, you've got that fancy, the latest iDrive in here. Pretty routine stuff. Steering wheel small and beefy, and pretty typical for the BMW. You'll notice the wear and tear as well. I've seen that on my X5 as well as M5. Pretty standard issues with these cars, and that wear on that material there. So then the question is, again, I know you've probably asked again and again, if it's so unreliable, which it is, why would you buy this car? Well, mainly for the fact that I want to go fast. Now that being said, it is one of the most unreliable 3 Series BMWs available, but so is an M3 of many of the generations, and I've considered shopping for one of them as well. I'm really interested in possibly picking up an M3, particularly the E90 series, because I'm actually thinking about considering strapping an ESS supercharger to an E90 and make that thing go really, really fast. So we'll see about that. But for now, I'm looking at the 335, not because it's unreliable, but because it's tunable. And the problem here is these two cars are automatic, and for me, I like driving the stick. See, why not remove one more point of possible failure? Manual transmissions are generally inherently more reliable. While clutches do burn out, it's generally not as big an issue as if you have an automatic that burns out. It's a much bigger repair. So anyway, I would typically go with the manual, and neither of these are manual transmissions. Therefore, I think I'm going to skip these two. So I'm going to keep on looking. So I really hope you enjoyed the video, guys. I just wanted to give you a summary of some of the key differences between the coupes and the sedans, and a few of the different variations, and why I would buy this car. This, in fact, is the car I'm starting to shop for, the 335 with a manual gearbox, and probably the X-Drive. That's the car that I'm likely going to wind up with if I find the right car. So stick with me on the search, everybody. I want to share with you the experiences along the way as I shop for these cars. Unfortunately, these are not the cars that I'm looking for here, but we'll get to that. So I hope everybody liked the video. You make sure you give me a thumbs up, like, subscribe, and we'll talk to you real soon. Thanks again, guys. Bye-bye.